And we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys, wherever you are in the world. And welcome to Let's Chat Live. My name is Tina Willis, and I am streaming this across my business page, across my personal page, and across LinkedIn. So I hope you're all having a fabulous 30th of December. Oh my goodness, where's it gone? You know, we spent so much time planning Christmas, planning everything, families around, and then just like a flash, it's gone. But I hope you've all had a fabulous time. I know we have. Yeah, we certainly have had a great time. And tomorrow is New Year's Eve. So let me know where you're coming from, guys. I can see some comments in the chat. Let me know, what you're up to, what your plans are. But have you noticed, and this happens every year, have you noticed how quickly the year is flying by? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And you think of all that build up, which is amazing, all the Christmas decorations that come out, everything gets done. And it is an amazing time of the year, but it just goes like a flash. And it's pretty much like the whole year, isn't it? I look back now, I'm 63 now, just 63. And I look back and I think, where has the time gone? Where have those years flown? 6 years since I've been an online business coach and mentor. 6 years, 6 years, since I've been doing this, and 5 years since I've been corporate free. And it's just flown like that. Tell me your thoughts on this, guys, because it's always so easy to think we have time, isn't it? And it's always so easy to think we have so much time available to ourselves. And yet the reality is time just flies, and it's so easy for us to say, maybe next year I'll do this, or maybe one day I'll do this. Hi, Stuti. Hello. Hope you had a lovely Christmas. And thank you so much for watching. But, it is easy, isn't it, to say maybe next year, maybe one day. Let me just turn that little buzzer off, because I always forget to turn these notifications off, and I don't know why I do it. There we go, that's turned off. Or when is the time right? When is the time ever going to be right to change your life, or to set your goals, or to do something? And I just wanted to hop on today because it is New Year's Eve tomorrow, and we are on the brink of 2026. Hi, Flora. We are on the brink of 2026, and I wanted to talk about expectations. All right. Hi, Debs. How are you doing? Happy New Year to you. Expectations, not goals, not wishes, expectations. What do you expect 2026 to bring for you? Because there's a big difference of hoping something's going to change in your lives, guys. There's a big difference of hoping it, wishing it, and there's a big difference between expecting it. All right, expecting is more positive. Hope waits, wishes maybe not come true without action. Thank you, Stuti. Same to you. Happy New Year to you. Expectations move differently than hopes or wishes or goals or dreams. Expectations are more positive, because when you expect something, all right, you show up differently. Okay. When you hope something will change, you just hope it will. There's no real action there. But when you expect it, you definitely show up differently, and you start making your decisions differently. All right. And you actually stop entertaining something that no longer fits you. All right. And that could be anything. That could be your career. That could be your partnerships, relationships. Happy New Year, Maritez. Hi, Jennifer. Thank you. Thank you for watching. You stop entertaining it, don't you? You stop putting up with the same old CRAP, for want of a better word. And when I look back, honestly, and it's a crazy situation, but when I look back, when I was in corporate life for all those years, and for years, I lived in hope. All right. I lived in the hope that work would feel better, that would feel lighter. Hi, Jikisha, that work would feel better. I lived in hope that life would slow down a bit for me. I lived in hope that I would have early retirement and early freedom, and it'd just appear for me, but hope didn't change my life. A decision I made 6 years ago did. Okay. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, because hope doesn't mean anything without action. And when the hope becomes action, then that's what you expect. You expect it to succeed for you. And it does when you put yourself into that moment. Okay. And it's about raising your standards, guys, because when you raise your expectations, it's not about pressure on yourself or hustle or anything like that. It's about standards. I want you to think, what do you expect? What do you want for yourself? How do you want your time to be respected by others? All right. Including, your boss or your career. How do you want your time to be respected? Hi, Geraldine. How do you want your energy to be protected? Because when I look back through burnout and illness, my energy wasn't protected at all in the career I was in. So how do you want that energy to be protected next year? All right. How do you want your income to reflect all the work you do, all the effort you put, and all the value you give to that career? How do you want that income to be reflected? Because let's face it, and this is something I've learned, all right, while I've been doing this. Who gives people the right to put a figure on your capabilities? Okay. It's true, Jennifer. It's not so much hoping, but who gives you the right to put a figure on your expectations and your capabilities of what you give to your job? Who decides what you're worth? So when you look at your income, isn't your income more important to reflect you, your effort, your value that you bring to this world? Aren't you the person who should decide what your income is? And how do you want your life to feel? How do you want to feel in yourself? Aligned, happy, joyful, peaceful, not exhausted, burnt out, and hoping for a better life, And I want you to ask yourself these things, because this is all about the standards you want for yourself and your life. And when you set those expectations, guys, certain things just naturally fall away. I wasn't going to stay burnt out in that corporate existence. I was not going to stay there. There is no way I would have carried on the way I was feeling, because I decided my life was more precious than that. Okay. So that isn't normal. And playing small isn't normal either. Hi, Mayhin. Playing small in your life is not normal. Because why do you think we're on this life? Why do we think we're on this earth? We're here for a purpose and a reason. And when you find out what that is, playing small doesn't exist. Okay. And settling for something doesn't sit right either. Because when you settle for something, you're actually letting something down. And that thing you're letting down is yourself when you settle. Because settling for something doesn't sit right anymore. And when you put all those things together, guys, that is growth. And it can be scary, and it can be a bit wary and a bit fearful. But at the end of the day, what would you rather want? Okay. Do you want that expectation for you for a good life, to protect your energy, to make sure that income reflects you and what you deserve, and that's where your mindset comes in. Okay. That's where it all starts changing with your mindset, because mindset is not just a secret ingredient, guys. It's the main ingredient. You don't get a new life by luck. Okay. And I can see I've got loads of people watching now. So please let me know what you think about this. You don't get a new life by luck. You don't get the chance of a new year by luck. All right. You step into a new year and a new life by becoming the version that you want to be of you. The person who expects more. The person who wants to know that their income reflects what their capabilities are. The person who believes they are worthy of it. All right. And the person who wants it. So I want you to really think about writing down, what do you want in your life? Not what do you complain that you don't have. I'm saying be positive. What do you want? All right, because that's where the law of attraction comes in. When you declare what you want, the universe will bring it to you. When you start moaning about what you don't have, you're just going to get more of it. All right. Geraldine, it is. Luck comes in when we change our mindset, you know. And I want you to ask yourselves, what does the new 2026 version of you look like? Okay. What does the new 2026 version of you tolerate or no longer tolerate? How do you want to, hi, Nicole, how do you want to move? How do you want to decide? How do you want to speak? Okay. Because when you shift your identity, guys, the reality is that life has no choice but to follow you, because you made that decision on your expectation of what you want. And I'll be honest, the shift came for me when I said yes to something that took me completely out of my comfort zone, this online business. And when I look back 6 years ago to the person I was then and the person who I wanted to be and who I now have become, that was just a blessing. But it didn't fall out of the sky. I took action to make it change. All right. It was a different way of working. It was a different way of thinking. Boy, what a way of thinking it is, And it wasn't just because I wanted more money, because let's face it, everybody starts something because they want more money. It was because I expected more life. I wanted to live more. I wanted to travel more. I wanted to find out who I was, And when you have that mission in life, money just comes. It comes later, because at the end of the day, it's about more freedom. It's about more choice, and it's about being present in a life that you want. Okay. And I see this with people every day, people who join this business, who have decided they want to stop hoping for it, that they just want to expect better for themselves and want to do something for themselves, not just a get rich quick scheme, not overnight success, but aligned success, sustainable success. So the scales are balanced. You have the income, but you have the life, and those two come together. And when I look, I could talk about this subject for hours, guys, but I know you probably won't stick with me for hours. But when I look at people who just want money, right? I know tons of people out there who are wealthy, who are stinking rich. Are they happy? No, because they're still working 24 hours a day. They can't enjoy it. What's the point? What's the point of that when they're burnt out and they haven't got anything to show for it? And yet when I look at the success of everybody in this business who wanted to change their lives and now got time freedom, who travel more, who present on stages globally, like Nicole, who's watching here, and myself, and we talk about mindset and we organize events, we love what we do, but we have time with our families. We have time to travel, and we have the time to do the things we love to do. And that's what it's about. It's about having financial freedom, and it's about having time freedom, and the scales are balanced. So if this hit you in any way, guys, or if for anybody who's going to watch the replay, if 2026 is calling you to expect a change in your life, and if you feel that nudge, hi Pooja, if you feel that nudge that there's got to be more than this, or got to be more than what you're putting up with at the moment, maybe this live wasn't random for you. Maybe this live has hit you right at the moment that you needed it. And maybe it's a reminder that you don't need permission to live your life. You don't need to be ready. You just need to decide that you are raising your expectations for what you want from life, So as I say, guys, if this hit you, comment 2026 in the chat if you're raising your expectations right now for your future, or message me if you're curious for what that changed everything for me and so many people who are watching today. because the moment you expect more from your life, life starts meeting you right at the place it's meant to be. So I hope you enjoyed it. Have a fabulous, fabulous day. Remember, 2026, day after tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Do you know what though? I'm going to have to say then, oh, I'm 24. I'm 64 this year. I'm only just 63. That's the only bit I don't like. But hey ho. But have a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous time, guys. Enjoy and, wrap your arms around life and give it a hug. See you all soon. Bye.